So you're originally from Cape Cod. That's really cool.
That's so funny. Like, I feel like we all stick together, but I know so many people in Nashville who are from the Cape. Cape is so small, so it's kind of random. It's a beautiful place to grow up. I really enjoyed growing up.
I've never even heard it called the Cape before. That sounds cool.
Oh,
Being-
yep, it's called the Cape. That's what we call it.
I
The Cape,
love
if
it.
you're a local.
I love it. What's your journey been like going from there to moving to Nashville? I know you've been in Nashville for about 6 years now.
Yeah, so it's been different each year. The first year was definitely just an adjustment. I dropped out of college and basically fell in love with the city. The very first time I visited, I lived here 3 months later. So it was like a really fast turnaround, quick decision. First year, I think I was just getting acclimated. It was really important to me to make good, genuine friends. And I think that's kind of hard to do when you move to a big city and then there's this competitive industry. So I think once I got my bearings with my friends and like figured out who I was friends with, I started to flourish more in the career part of it. So it took me a little time, but yeah, it's been 6 years now.
It's good. And you plug through it because I imagine, how many people go there and, with it being so competitive, like you said, can really self-doubt.
Oh yeah, you have to have biggest thing is having a deeper why of why you do it because if it's for the glitz and glam of it, there's none of that until you go through all of the hard things. And then if it's yeah, you have to have a really genuine reason and you have to be here for the job, the long haul, not the sprint.
What was one of the first songs you remember writing?
It was about my first kiss, and it was the date that I had the first kiss, and my friends still make fun of me for it. It's called August 17th, and I was like 15, and yeah, it's very hard to listen to.
So your debut EP, There's No Going Back, was released on October 21st. That must have been really exciting. What did you do to celebrate?
A lot of different celebrations with different friend groups over time. Every time a single would come out, we'd go do something fun, but I honestly don't remember what we did on the actual night of the release.
You're a really big songwriter. That's your like big thing. You love it. You've been doing it forever. With this album though, what was the most challenging part of putting it together because this was your debut?
Yeah, I think that when you write and sing songs, you transform so much. You end up writing a lot about the truths in your life at the moment and you evolve. And so I think the hardest part for me is making everything cohesive while still evolving as a person and maybe feeling like I've grown out of the songs, which is a really interesting thing because they're old to me, but they're new to the people hearing it. So I always try to remember
Right.
that even though I've evolved and maybe grown out of that phase in my life and maybe don't feel as connected to the story anymore, it's still the first time other people are hearing it and they're going to be able to relate their truths to it. So I think that was really hard for me though. I live very much in like how I feel now. And so it's hard to stay connected to
Mhm.
a project a year later.
Were all these songs written more recently, or were some of them from way back in the vault?
Combo of both. None of them were like ridiculously old, but a couple of them were maybe a year to 2 years old. One of them I added last minute. The seventh song I added last minute because I had just written it. It was after me.
I read here that the title, There's No Going Back, is from a line in the end.
Yes.
So, what was so special about that for you?
Well, we were thinking because I wrote basically this entire project with my roommate, best friend, just incredible co-writer, and we just meshed really well in the writing room. So we just ended up writing a lot of it together, and we spend a lot of time together. And she did all the artwork, and I was like, I don't know what the name of the album to be, and she was like, well, you should start going through some of the lines in the songs and see if there's anything that pops out to you. And I can't remember if she came up with it or if I came up with it, and there's just that double meaning to it where it's like there's no going back. The the path that I have chosen, there's no going back. I'm already invested, I'm already here, I'm already doing it, and I love it. And so it's kind of that double meaning of first album, but a play on words. There's also no going back for me. This is it.
um, so, what was one of your most favorite bits of feedback that you've received from the album? I saw that you did like a little video montage of some reactions you got.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're so like vastly different. Some people really gravitated towards like the funny quirkiness of Don't Be a Dick. And I loved seeing people just think that was so funny and like bring them to life. And then there was some more sad songs on there, and I like loved to see people just feeling seen or understood and connect with both, because I'm very, sometimes I'm sad girl and sometimes I'm like sassy girl, and so I wasn't sure if I was going to give people whiplash, but people seem to take to it pretty well.
Yeah. I'm sure you with the debut album, you want to show all these different sides of you. Do you feel like you
Yeah,
accomplished that with this?
I totally do. If anything, I was worried that I showed too many sides of myself, but it was well received. So I feel like I accomplished it for sure.
And your song Kids for a Minute is a special song. Can you tell us about the story behind that?
Yeah, so when I first moved to Nashville, I became a nanny for this sweet, sweet, sweet boy. And he has Down syndrome. He's 16. And that changed my life. I mean, it has kept me grounded, and he just constantly reminds me of the important things in life. And I think it's been this like blessing that I've been able to pursue this really crazy dream, but also stay consistently humbled all of the time by him and his presence. And so I just wanted to kind of write a song about the impact that he has on people around him. And also it reminds me of like my inner child. So I just combined those two things. And then he got to be in the Spotify canvas, and he's obsessed with the idea of like people seeing him on the canvas. So it was just really fun all around.
Yeah, he looked like he had a lot of fun with it too and very supportive of you.
Oh, he was so happy. He was so happy.
When you're songwriting, do you have like a special setup or place that you like to particularly write? What feels most comfortable to you?
I don't really like writing at my house. I can't, but because I just feel distracted. Like if there's dishes that could be done, it's really hard for me to relax. If there's a couch that I could be laying on, it's like so hard for me to work. So I really enjoy going to like an office or like a publishing company where the room is comfortable, not where I relax. And I don't really like to combine those two things. So I would say I like to go to a writer's room where it's comfortable and vibey and cute, and there's a computer with a track, but not in my own home.
This year, beginning of the year, did you do a resolution? Did you do that one word of the year thing, or what's your view on that? What's you got?
Not necessarily. I'm like always manifesting. I'm a big like witchy girl. I do like the manifestation stuff, and I always have goals. So the first of the year isn't necessary. It feels like a fresh start for me, for sure, like kind of a clean slate, like starting new. But I always kind of have the same revolving goals that I'm writing down all the time. So I wouldn't say that I like picked a new one. I had something kind of really cool happen on the day after Christmas. I didn't really have any songs planned until probably like being released later in this year. And I had a song go viral and hit almost 2 million views on TikTok, which was crazy. And like all these people were commenting and like making videos to the song. And so me and my producer were like, let's put it out. All right, it's called Like It's His Job. He's never late. When I say 7, he's pulling up at 6:58. No matter how much he's got on his plate, he always asks about my day. He don't like to fight, but if something's wrong, he'll damn sure make it right. Even if it keeps him up all night, 'cause he loves me like he loves me like he don't mind working overtime. It's way more than 9 to 5. As soon as he wakes up, he's on the clock. He loves me like he ain't afraid of dirty hands, like he was born to be my man. 365 all my work in overtime. Way more than 9 to 5 as soon as he wakes up, he's on the clock. He loves me like he ain't afraid of dirty hands. Like he was born to be my man. 365, don't take no days off. That boy loves me like he like it's his job. Thank you.
Great job. Wow, that's amazing how you can just whip that out.
Oh, you're sweet. Hey, you know what? Lots of practice. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Good luck with everything.